All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So earlier on this morning, I posted a video reacting to Mike Florio and Chris Sims, their latest take on the Zach Wilson Jets quarterback situation, and ended up leaving, just got back now, and I saw that Jeremy Fowler from ESPN just posted a pretty in-depth report, and on the inside there was a small snippet about Zach Wilson. He has some inside info here, talked to two people separate from the New York Jets, and it's going to be really interesting. Okay, so I have the full quote here, and we'll kind of give our take afterwards. So Jets coach Robert Saleh says Zach Wilson is still a part of the franchise's future after the QB was benched a second time last week. Others around the league aren't so sure, believing there's no going back. They have a major problem, an NFL coordinator said. His confidence is shot. He's not seeing it on the field. The New York fans are brutal. Maybe going somewhere else can help him get his confidence back up. The Jets are in a precarious spot. Giving up on the number 2 overall pick after 22 career starts is bad business. Trading him for a late round draft pick, assuming his value is not high, might be worse for business. But it's also hard to foresee the Jets going into the 2023 season with Wilson as the starter as it stands. I think they do everything possible to trade him, but I think they wait until maybe even the preseason or into the regular season to get his value up, an NFC exec said. There's nothing right now that says a team wants the Zach Wilson experiment and will trade a draft pick for him, but maybe it could be a Baker Mayfield type of situation with the Rams, where a team has injuries at the position and needs a spot starter. Man, that's a lot to unpack. So Fowler spoke to an NFL coordinator and an NFC executive, and so far we've heard from multiple beat reporters that the Zach Wilson era in New York is done, it is over with, but I gotta be honest with you, I would be absolutely shocked, I would be floored if Joe Douglas outright cuts Zach Wilson this offseason, just releases him. I mean, for a first-round pick to have multiple years left on his rookie deal, which, by the way, is fully guaranteed. In other words, because Zach Wilson, we're ending the second year of that contract, that means that there's still year 3, year 4, the 5th-year option on top of that. The Jets still owe Zach Wilson over $20 million. We take a look at where Zach Wilson has struggled, really what's been going wrong. Nobody's doubting the arm strength. Nobody is doubting the mobility. Nobody is really doubting the magic that he has to elude defenders. Nobody's doubting the release. It's all like he has the talent, the physical upside, right? That's all there. When we look at where Zach has struggled, it's been with decision making. It's inaccurate footballs. It's knowing and processing what the defense is trying to do and accomplish. It just looks like Zach is underdeveloped and raw. He doesn't look ready to play on Sunday. He still kind of looks like a rookie. We've said this on the channel, a couple times here. Zach Wilson doesn't look like he's grown at all since week 1 of last year, which was his first NFL start against the Carolina Panthers. And look, there's been some injuries with the Jets. There's been some offensive line shakeups. Mike LaFleur is still a young OC, kind of, still growing in his position as a play caller. And really, overall, an offensive coordinator, just managing the offense. We've seen some ups and downs with LaFleur, so it's not 100% on Zach, but at the end of the day, it does fall on Zach Wilson's shoulders. You don't draft a quarterback second overall to hold the franchise back. So it's a tough spot. It's 1000% a tough spot. But when I look at why Zach Wilson has struggled so far, I think a lot of the issues, not every single issue, but I think a lot of the issues could start to disappear, could start to go away with time. When we're talking about underdeveloped players, when we're talking about raw players, what helps that? Time. I'm not talking about a 3-week break like the Jets tried to do earlier on the season. Not at all. I'm saying maybe a year. Maybe it takes a year, an offseason, a training camp, a preseason, the entire regular season, watching somebody else do it, whether that's a Mike White, whether that's, whoever it is, a Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and keeping Zach Wilson on the bench. I mean, for me, if we're looking at a guy with immense upside, immense potential, but we're not seeing it on the field and he just doesn't look ready to play, I think the answer to that question, or, when we're talking about probability here, how can we get the most out of Zach Wilson? What's going to be, what can we do as an organization to put him in the best position to grow and develop as a quarterback? I think putting him on the bench and watching somebody else go out there and execute the offense while he's still practicing. It's not like he's just going to be at home hanging out. I think a lot can be learned in a full year on the bench, on ice. No pressures on you. You don't have to, go out there and prove people wrong on Sundays and, really pay attention to stats and all these different things, storylines, reporters, Twitter, comments, this and that. I think just a year on the bench would really go a long way with Zach Wilson. I don't like being in this situation because, he was the second overall pick. But the unfortunate truth is that's the reality where we're talking about, instead of why Zach Wilson is so good, what he's doing well, we're talking about what can the Jets do to put him in the best position so he can look like a functional quarterback. Again, I don't like being in this position, but it's just where we're at right now. As much as I would like to see Zach Wilson suit up and go out there and throw for 350 yards, go get the win, take care of the football, operate the offense, it's simply not happening. Will it happen in time? There's a chance. And for an organization to say, we're going to take you over everybody else, so many great NFL players, other quarterbacks in the class, we're going to invest in you, to give up on a guy like that after 2 seasons, especially when we're talking about cutting him, which in turn means that you're going to release him, pay him $20 million to go play for another team. I think... I agree with the report here. I think that would be bad business. I do think a potential trade is somewhat intriguing. If the Jets are blown away with an offer, like I'm in the position right now where it's like, if a team comes out of the woodwork and says, oh, hey, we'll give you a 2024 7th round pick, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to take the bait. I just can't get myself to that point. But look, if a trade offer comes in, the report alluded to, maybe somebody gets hurt, maybe somebody's desperate for a quarterback, maybe somebody really, really loves the upside, an offensive-minded coach, and they say, hey, we'll give you a solid offer, then I'd be open to it. Obviously the Jets would have to have a backup plan, whether that, again, is a veteran quarterback or Mike White or something, but... I think a trade is kind of interesting, but for me, this is kind of where my mindset is at right now. This offseason, I want the Jets to go out there and acquire a veteran quarterback. Get a guy in the building who has a lot of starts under his belt. I'm not talking about necessarily like a Matt Barkley or somebody like that, but preferably a Derek Carr, preferably a Jimmy Garoppolo. Somebody who could run and operate this offense, this Mike LaFleur offense, effectively and consistently. They don't need to be a top 5 quarterback. They don't. The Jets have weapons. The Jets have a defense. I like where this team is going. But, man, when I look at what this team could have been this year with just consistent quarterback play, from week to week, I think we would be in a lot better position than we are right now, where we're 1 game back from 500, and we're fighting to get into the playoffs, hoping that other teams lose and other teams win. It's a tough pill to swallow. Obviously the Jets have came a long way from where they, have been the last couple of seasons, which I'm totally pumped up about. But they can get a veteran quarterback this offseason. That's not out of the realm of possibilities. That is realistic here. Now it gives you the luxury to do whatever you want with Zach Wilson. For me, if I was Joe Douglas, I'm keeping Wilson on the roster. I'm adding that veteran to the room. I'm going to see what's up with Mike White. Obviously, this is a guy that knows the system. He has chemistry with the team. Everybody really rallies behind Mike White. But a part of me feels like White is probably going to ask for quite a bit of money. But we're going to have to see how that situation plays out. If he hits the offseason and wants, $20+ million annually, then it's like, okay, hold on. Now we have to reassess some things. So that's kind of my outlook right now. Of course, we don't know exactly what's happening with Derek Carr. We don't know what exactly is happening with some of the other quarterbacks, some of the other dominoes that could fall this offseason. But that's my initial outlook. Get a veteran quarterback in the building. No ifs, ands, or buts. No ifs, ands, or buts. Make it happen. They got to make it happen. You could keep Zach Wilson on the bench for a season, or you could trade him if you want to, right? Because now you have that veteran option at the quarterback position. The franchise is not solely tied to Zach Wilson in his performances on Sunday. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.